Come explore the unknown with us and enter the Chamber of Shadows, a podcast for the dark, haunted, and mysterious. I am your host, Celine, and I am joined by my co host, Endora. Say hi, Endora.
Good evening, spooky fam.
Uh, all right. So I have my little spiel that I wanted to mention for our intro current events.
Oh yeah, for the chatter.
Now I
Okay.
gotta pull it back up. Here we go. Um, so I just thought this was funny.
Okay.
So I went down a rabbit hole the other night, and well, I went down like 3 rabbit holes, but the one I wanted to talk about was these animals screaming. So
Like screaming goats? Is that what you mean? Like
no,
when
so there was a video and a man was outside with his dog and he heard it sounds like a woman screaming, but it was probably like I
a
don't know, like
fox?
a mountain lion or yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Bobcat, mountain lion, whatever, screaming because they scream. So that's the rabbit hole I went down. So I started with bobcats. Then I got into mountain lions, foxes. What was the other one? Oh, I eventually got into the shoebill. You know what a shoebill is?
Oh, is it that? Oh, yes, it's that big pelican, I think, or
Yeah,
stork that has the big fat. Yeah,
and they
everybody
like
thinks it's the that it looks like the New Jersey Devil, right? That's the one that
oh, don't
people
start me
think look
lying.
okay. I
But
think
it's
that's
like
what you're talking about.
huge.
Yeah.
And it like clacks its like I wish I could do you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah.
Girl, it can take things heads off.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that big
So
weird, that's crazy. Yeah.
that was the rabbit hole I went down, but I wanted to mention this because one of the mountain lion videos I saw. So the mountain lion screamed, and then I was going through the comments, which 98% of the time the comments are the funniest part of
That's right.
TikTok. So
Yeah.
somebody had commented this, you hear the mountain lion scream in the background as you're going through these comments. And I saw somebody said someone was just given unsweetened tea. And then somebody else said, Usain Bolt couldn't catch me coming out of those woods. And then this is my favorite one. Somebody else had like posted a video of the mountain lion and they captioned it. They said, God was fucking with the Native Americans when he made mountain lions scream for no reason. So I'm watching these videos and I don't know what made me like turn around, but I turned and looked and both Chance and Cookie are looking at me like, and I'm like, sorry, is she saying something that I'm supposed to know? Or like what's she saying right now? Oh my god. So yeah, that's my current event that I wanted to mention.
That's hilarious. I love screaming animals. When I'm sad, I watch screaming goats because it's my favorite thing.
It's like that Taylor Swift video. Well, it's not her video, but where somebody took the screaming goat and they're like, ah! You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Yes.
that's a great video. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was like it was this odd like combination because I was so unsettled but also like I was cracking up. I couldn't help it. And you know what? That's exactly how I would react if someone gave me unsweetened tea.
Same. No thanks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass on that.
Oh my god. You got anything? Or are you ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started.
Let's do this. What are we
All
doing
right.
today?
Here we go. Mary Gillespie walked to her mailbox in March of 1977, just like any other day. She grabbed a handful of bills and advertisements, but as soon as she started to sort through them, something stood out. A plain envelope with large blocky letters spelling out her name and address. No return address with a Columbus postmark. Inside would be the beginning of a bizarre journey for the entire town that would last almost 20 years. This is the story of the Circleville Letters. Oh, here we are.
So I know I added this to the list, and as soon as you saw this months and months and months ago, you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing that. So I actually don't know anything. I knew, like, obviously there's letters, and I think it's still unsolved, but I don't know anything about it. So I'm excited.
Well, I've got a lot of tea for you.
Okay,
today.
okay. It's piping hot?
It's from 1977,
so it's steamy.
We've probably iced it by now, but that's okay.
all right. Is it sweet or unsweet?
It's definitely sweet, honey.
All right,
it is definitely sweet.
Here we go.
All right. In 1977, Circleville, Ohio had a population of about 11,000 people. There was a traditional downtown centered around the courthouse. There were local shops and service businesses. Their shining star was and still is the yearly infamous Circleville Pumpkin Show. Just a lovely little small town on the outside of Columbus. Mrs. Gillespie, stay away from Massey. Don't lie when you're questioned about him. I know where you live. I've been observing your house, and I know you have children. This is no joke. Please take it serious. Everyone concerned has been notified, and everything will be over soon.
Who is Massey?
Well, we're about to find out.
Let's do it.
Mary was a school bus driver. Gordon Massey was the school superintendent.
Oh.
The letter writer implied that he had knowledge of an affair between the two. They further stated that they had been watching Mary's home, also mentioning her children. Mary and Gordon both denied the affair, and there was no proof that was ever presented. This would have seemed like a terrible joke, but then they had to go and bring the children into it.
Yeah.
Mary hid the letter and did not mention it to her husband. No sense in getting him all worked up for nothing. But about a week later, another letter. Lady, this is your last chance to report him. I know you are a pig and will prove it and shame you out of Ohio. A pig sneaks around and meets other women's husbands behind their back, only causes families, homes, and marriages to suffer. You are such a pig, and I will prove it. Why doesn't he come to your rescue? Or has he too much to lose? His wife, in which pigs like you take advantage of, his you're going to laugh at his $28,500 a year job, or his kickbacks. How's your little girl? Will she grow up to be like you?
Bringing the kids into it is like,
what are you doing?
Send me the letters, but don't. Okay. Sorry, was there more to that letter before I started?
Nope, that's it. That was the end of that second letter, yeah.
Okay, this might sound crazy, but my initial reaction when you were reading that is that it's his wife.
It's Gordon Massey's wife?
Yeah. I don't know why I was like, ooh, I don't know why I'm getting that impression. I don't even know who she is or anything about her, but right off the bat, I was like, ooh, I could see like his wife or like a wife who found out.
Well, it's definitely personal. You don't call somebody a fucking pig.
Pig is crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
That's 100% like the first letter was personal, but this letter, not only did you call her a pig and you're like being very insulting, but you're calling her daughter by her name.
That's crazy.
You know her.
Yes. Agree. Mary put this letter with the other and still did not tell her husband Ron or anyone else. Well, it wasn't long before the secret was out. Shortly after this, Ron received a letter. Same blocky handwriting and poor grammar and misspellings. The writer demanded that he put an end to the affair and contact the school board, reporting Gordon for the affair. Ron had been given 2 weeks to do so, or his life would certainly be in danger.
This is like, this is very personal. Like, somebody is involved in this affair. They're involved in this affair. This has to be from somebody who is directly, like, involved or something.
Well, let's remember that this is a small town. So everybody's in everybody's business.
Yeah, but this is like, I mean, she might be talking about it, but she's not going to be this offended by it to the point of like, this has got to be somebody who's directly involved or like a best friend or something who found out.
Yeah, something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just results. Somebody. Yeah, exactly. It's not just like a random person in town who found out and they're, you know, wanting to gossip about it.
Well, each letter is like more of a tantrum.
Yeah.
Like, it just keeps getting worse. Okay. When the letter writer's threats result in no response at all, they unleashed an avalanche of letters all over town.
Oh.
If the supposed affair between Mary and Gordon wasn't a rumor to start with, it sure was now. It went on and on until eventually everyone in town was sick of it. The Gillespies decided, because they were at their wits' end, to have a brainstorming meeting with Ron's sister Karen, brother-in-law, and Ron's best friend, Paul Freshour, Paul, sister Sue Freshour. So there was 5 people.
And this is who is it?
So it's Mary.
And
okay. Her husband Ron.
Okay.
And
his okay.
Yeah, and their in-laws and then their brother-in-law's sister.
Okay.
They would have dinner that night and try to figure out a way to put a stop to this madness. During the meeting, Mary suggested that she might know who the culprit is. Another bus driver named David Longberry had hit on her. He seemed very angry when she declined. It's a small town and everybody knew this guy was an asshole. So they agreed he was the likely suspect. Someone suggested that they do exactly what he had been doing to them. So the letter writing campaign to the suspected writer began. Oh, each person in the meeting wrote 4 to 5 letters to this man, basically saying that the gig's up, we know who you are, and we're going to tell everyone if the harassment doesn't stop. It seemed to work, but only for a short time. Suddenly, the Gillespies started receiving harassing phone calls. Then this terrorist started placing signs all over town stating disparaging things about Mary and Gordon. When they still weren't getting the reaction they wanted, they started putting up signs about Tracy, Mary and Ron's daughter, stating that Gordon was also having an affair with this 13-year-old child. No proof.
That's
not.
Mm-hmm. No.
Ron started getting up before work and taking the signs down to save his wife and daughter the embarrassment. That's horrible.
This is like, what do they want to happen?
They want Gordon Massey. It seems like they're targeted in on him losing his job. And they are targeted in for some reason on splitting him and Mary up, which makes
the jig's David up. Everybody knows now.
Yeah. It makes that David guy really look really suspicious. You sus, bruh. Because David guy is a bus driver also. So he also has a link between the two of them.
But not even that, but like it does kind of give as well, like, which would still be personal involvement of if somebody wanted one or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. That too. Yep.
Like, I can totally see that being a reason for.
Yeah.
God.
How
This is
frustrating. How do you
this
live
is
your life
crazy.
with just being obsessed with other people? I don't
How do
understand.
you live your life talking about a child?
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to fight you.
And threatening people's safety. Don't forget that.
It's one thing when you're threatening an adult's safety. It's another when you're bringing a child into it. And because that's automatically like, now my child is unsafe. Whether you're directly putting a threat to my child or not, you just including my child or children, whatever the case, in the letter is a threat.
All of it's a threat to me. Yeah.
I mean, yes, I'm
Yeah.
talking about for the child though, but yes, like there's different levels of crazy. Sending a threatening letter over, first of all, over a man is wild. Like Mary's probably like, you can have them.
Literally one standing out there right now. So could you.
Like if it's about him, Mary's like, you can have them. But like bringing a child into it to me is a different level of crazy.
Yeah, it's all crazy to me. August 19th, 1977, Mary, Karen, and Sue went on a much needed girls' trip to Florida. The letter writer turned mouth breathing phone weirdo took the opportunity to double down on the calls to Ron. But something happened this time. The caller had become too comfortable. Ron had picked up a clue this time. Now he knew for sure who the caller was. He ran to get his gun, kissed his kids, and told Tracy he knew who the caller was and he was going to put a stop to it tonight.
Oh, God.
Ron jumped in his truck and took off. It is unknown who he was going to confront because less than 10 miles from home, Ron lost control of his vehicle, hit a tree, and was killed on impact. Somewhere between leaving the house and wrecking his truck, Ron Gillespie's gun had been fired once. This is not only the mystery concerning the accident. Ron also had a blood alcohol content of 0.16%. Over Ohio's BAC limit in 1977, which was 1%, twice the legal limit in Ohio today. Lethal BAC is over 0.4%, just for context. Why would this be strange? Everyone who knew Ron knew he wasn't a drinker. He was a maybe at midnight on New Year's Eve kind of guy. Wow.
Okay, well, obviously something shady happened because coincidence that he figures something out and he tells somebody. I'm sure he on the phone gave a clue as well that he's like, motherfucker, I know who you are now. Like, what are the odds that he gets in the car and like dies?
I mean,
and
it's pretty strange since he's already been threatened.
Right. And let's add on top of that his gun went off. Where did they find his gun? Do you know? In
the cab of the truck.
Was it like behind his seat or like next to him in the cab?
I have pictures of the truck. Okay. I think the truck was just a single cab, like it didn't have back seat. So I think it was just in the cab of the truck, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, why didn't he like say anything? Why was he just like,
she's
I know
13.
Who it is?
Yeah. Because she's 13. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's 77. It's not 2025 13-year-old. It's 1977
right.
13-year-old.
Yeah.
Which I was 13 at that time, so I can tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they Adults didn't tell us shit. They didn't tell us nothing.
Like, something definitely went down. There's no doubt about it. You've already been threatened. I'm sure you gave away some behavioral clue that you now know who it is. I don't know how that would have translated to the accident. Do we know what his cause of death was?
I believe it was head trauma.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With internal injuries also. I think he was pinned in by a steering wheel. And we didn't wear seatbelts in the 70s.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, which is very did they find anything wrong with the truck, like a cut brake line or anything like that?
No, nothing like that. Also, I don't know that they were looking for it. Here we go.
Okay.
Cue the letter writer. Almost immediately, several residents received letters stating that Pickaway County Sheriff Dwight Radcliffe was perpetrating a cover-up. The writer said that Gordon and Mary were responsible for Ron's death. Paul Freshour contacted Sheriff Radcliffe following Paul's death. He wanted to talk about how he suspected foul play, and Radcliffe did not disagree. But the only suspect, David Longberry, had passed a polygraph test, which was admissible evidence at that time. Yeah. Yeah. So now what's the letter writer doing? Now we want the sheriff to be looking for us if he's involved. What is he trying to throw us off? What is he doing?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
or she.
I don't understand the overall goal of any of this. Like, is it because you want somebody? Is it because you want Mary? If you want him to lose, what was the superintendent's name?
Gordon Massey.
Yes. If you want him to lose his job, I feel like that's probably, the person is wanting her. And then conveniently her husband dies.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're like baiting this officer. Like, what is it that you really want?
It's hard. They're not focused. If they are, I can't tell. Yeah. It seemed like they were in the beginning, but this is crazy. So we're going to do a little time jump. Ron's been dead now for 6 years. 6 years after her husband's death, a lot had changed for Mary. She was now a single parent. Gordon Massey was divorced. Oh. Seems that if the letter writer's goal was to push Mary and Gordon apart, all they really did was trauma bond them.
Well, yeah.
They had begun openly dating. As you can imagine, the letters began pouring out all over town, to no avail. Mary and Gordon had decided the Circleville letter writer had taken all they were going to take of their lives.
Was the writer still writing within those 6 years? Or was it after 6 years they started back up?
Yeah, they never, he or she, I should say, never really stopped.
Okay.
But then when they were openly dating, because I'm sure if they were watching and they saw them, quietly going out, but once they started attending functions together and doing things together, the letter writer was like, oh, hell nah.
Right.
No. Which
again gives stalker vibes. Stalkers are very, very, very dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, this person is so unstable. When the letter writer had realized they were not having any effect at all, they began to devise a more twisted plan than ever. On February 7th, 1983, Mary was driving her empty school bus back to the garage when at an intersection she saw an obscene sign with her daughter's name on it, hung on a fence.
No.
Pissed off, she parked the bus, went over to tear it down. She grabbed the sign and yanked it, but noticed a long string of twine attached to the sign and a box that was attached to a different post. She yanked both parts down, threw them in the bus. When she arrived at the garage, she started to examine the whole contraption. Inside the box, with a gun rigged pointing forward, with the twine on the trigger, Part diabolical plan, part Looney Tunes. For some reason, when she pulled the sign down, it didn't go off. And it didn't go off when she opened the box either. Mary took the booby trap to the sheriff's office. They worked on diagramming the crime scene. Later that evening, they went out to the actual crime scene and took a bunch of pictures. 20 minutes before Mary came through that same intersection, another bus driver witnessed a man who did. Ooh, I should not to say that. I don't know why I wrote that, but I'm not going to say it because it's going to give you too much information.
Okay.
Another bus driver witnessed a man in a yellow El Camino pulled over right by the fence where the booby trap was placed. But there was no booby trap there at that time. So 20 minutes prior, there was no booby trap there.
But he's just parked there?
He's parked in the exact same spot. And okay, not only did the car stick out because it's an El Camino.
And it's yellow.
Not only did the car stick out, but the man acted super shady and turned his face away, just his face, like he didn't want anyone to recognize him. Sheriff said the man that had been cleared by the polygraph didn't own an El Camino, but his brother did. And it was yellow. If this was ever looked into any further than that, there was no record of it anywhere.
What?
Correct. That was that. Dropped it right there.
Okay, so...
Oh, what?
So,
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
So, what motive would his brother have for this unless he also had some weird, twisted, like, involvement?
Perhaps, or maybe he just borrowed his brother's car.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's obviously... I would just think that another bus driver would be like, hey, yeah, it kind of looked like, what was his name? Daniel?
David Longberry.
David.
Yeah.
I would think that somebody passing would be like, yeah, it looked kind of like David, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I would think that if it were him borrowing his brother's car, you could still somewhat recognize even without seeing a face.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's I don't know.
A yellow El Camino, I would think, being a driver, you would probably know where it's from. You would know when you're going to see it because it sticks out.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they didn't investigate it, so there's that.
So crazy.
Unsuccessful attempts to scratch off the serial number, but the number was still detected, and the man registered to the gun was contacted the next day. The guy said he sold the gun to someone he worked with, someone whose name we've already heard here today.
God.
Mary's brother-in-law and Ron's best buddy, Paul Freshour. Paul had said to a friend, Charles Spencer, that he noticed the gun was missing about a month before the booby trap. His friend even helped him search the garage where he had kept it in a toolbox on top of the fridge. Paul quietly suspected a family member suffering from addiction, but said no more about it until Sheriff Radcliffe came knocking.
So, her brother-in-law?
Yeah, Paul Freshour.
So who's this other friend that's helping him look for it?
Paul Freshour, his friend Charles Spencer is just like, I don't know, a neighbor or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not involved in any way. He was
literally just like a...
Okay. Yeah, he's like, yeah, he did tell me, over a month ago, he told me that his gun turned up missing, and he suspected this person who, I don't know who this person is. They may still be alive today. So that's probably why they're not wanting to use that person's name. But it was a family member that he suspected of addiction. Yeah. That was what Paul said.
Now, God, I mean, this goes so many different ways. It's so messy because it's like, there's so many different players involved.
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, okay, well, that'd be creepy as hell if somebody broke into Paul's house and took that gun. Like, that's manipulative, which we
Mhm.
already know the person's manipulative. But what would
Correct.
does Paul have any history with Mary?
No. I mean, other than
I mean,
they've
yeah.
been part of the same family, but no history of beef, no history of hitting on her. Mary never said a bad word about Paul. Ever.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Radcliffe took Paul in for questioning. The sheriff then did something that would be considered cringe by most true crime followers today.
Oh,
He
God, what?
he asked Paul to, while looking at the Circleville letter, copy it as closely as possible on a pad. Paul did so without question. Paul was instructed to copy the letter as closely as possible. He never thought anything about it, and he never thought anything would come of it because he was innocent. Sheriff then dictated another letter and had Paul, in his own handwriting, write that letter. Then he kept Paul in jail overnight.
So he had him copy the closest he could and then write in his own handwriting.
Yeah, which that's not. First of all, handwriting is, but also, I don't know if I'm resting on anybody's handwriting analysis. But I will say that is not how it's done. They just
No.
look at stuff you've already written.
Correct.
they,
Correct.
they don't have you, hey, can you try as hard as you can to make it look exactly like this letter?
Yeah, and I will say, like, handwriting was in one of the things that I have studied, handwriting analysis, and it is very like it can be subjective in some ways. It can be really good, and in other ways, it's like, well, I know for me, I've got 3 different types of handwriting styles.
That's crazy. What are you
Yeah.
doing with all that?
It depends. Well, it depends on like how I'm holding the pen. It depends on how the paper's rearranged. It depends on, oh yeah, no, like I'll send them to you. Oh yeah. It's actually kind of ridiculous because sometimes I'm writing, in like italics basically. Other times I'm writing normally. Like, yeah. So I don't know. Godspeed translating my handwriting like that.
The next morning, the sheriff told the prosecutor that Paul's handwriting matched the writing on the obscene booby trap sign.
Well, you told him to.
They placed Paul under arrest, but he was released on $50,000 cash bond. That was a lot of bond in the back
Yeah.
in the day. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Upon release, Paul checked himself into a mental health facility. He later said it was to prove that he was not crazy enough to have done these things. Later, the prosecution would say that it was to help convince a jury that he was indeed about to plead insanity.
Okay.
Paul and Ron's sister, Karen, were in the midst of a nasty divorce. He was accusing her of infidelity. She was accusing him of spousal abuse. Neither could prove their claims. Karen claimed under oath that she believed the motive was to try and murder Mary because Mary was letting Karen stay on the property in a trailer. So Karen, Ron's sister, her widowed husband,
Right.
Ron's sister, is getting divorced, and now I don't know, she probably has a couple acres or whatever. She's thrown a trailer on the property, and she's letting Karen stay there, and she says that's why Ron wanted to murder Mary. Okay.
But also, wait, she's talking about abuse?
That's what she said. But there was nothing proven that she was a hoe, and there was nothing proving that he beat her. Neither one of their claims were proven.
And nobody aside from or outside of them ever had anything to say about either of those claims?
No, ma'am. Nothing that I could find, and I looked because I was like, oh, well, that's why. That's why this is happening, because he's a wife beater and everybody knows it. It's a small town. But that's not true. Nobody co-signed that at all that I could find.
Listen, I know that people can hide abuse very well. But I also know how small towns work. I went to high school in one. So a lot of times people know it and they're just not talking about it.
I mean, that can be nobody's saying that can't be true. Yeah.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's just, I don't know. And same thing with infidelity. I mean, there's plenty of people who don't know that their spouse is cheating, but everybody around them does.
Yeah, because there's like dumb motherfuckers that say things like, you invaded my privacy by looking at my phone. Get the fuck out of here, you 5-head motherfucker. Ain't nobody.
I wonder who did that. I wonder who had that experience. That's crazy. Oh my God. I just like, it's weird to me. And my point about saying that was, it's weird to me that with those claims, nobody in the small town would have spoken up about either side.
Well, and also it was 1977. So you didn't put your business out in the streets like that, but people knew. I mean,
100%.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's always that one person who's got to say something.
Yeah. Except this time, nobody said anything.
Right.
Literally no one. And now, nobody said anything to this day. So
I know some people who grew up in Circleville. Let me reach out to them.
Yeah. Listen, I worked with a nice young lady that currently lives there and couldn't get Jack out of her. So
because she doesn't know, or
you know her too.
I do.
You do. She is a manager at a place we both worked.
Yeah. Did you reach out to her?
I mean, probably in 2012, like when I worked there. Yeah, I did, because he was I don't want to say too much because you're going to make me give everything away.
Like for the case, you mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Is this unsolved?
Some people say it is. Moving right along. Karen claimed under oath that she believed the motive was to try to murder Mary because Mary was letting her stay on the property in a trailer. She also stated that she had seen in their home together, torn up in the toilet, letters. She further stated that they looked just like the Circleville letter writer letters. But didn't all 5 people at that brainstorming session write multiple blocky alphabet letters? If she didn't fish them out of the toilet, dry them out, and paste them back together, how does she know it wasn't one of those? Just saying, not for nothing.
Yeah, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like a case where he was getting accused and she's like, yeah, you know what? This makes sense.
Could be.
Okay. Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
Ohio's BCI handwriting specialist stated in court that he believed all submitted letters and the booby trap sign were written by the same person. Why were these letters even allowed into evidence? Paul is charged with attempted murder, not writing letters. Paul scheduled in advance to be off work the day the booby trap was placed to kill Mary. He was having some work done on his home in Grove City, 25 miles from Circleville. The man that worked on Paul's home and the neighbor of 15 years testified that he was home from at least 12:30 to 4:30. And we also know that the sign was not there 20 minutes before Mary came through.
And she came through at 5.
She came through at like 3:30, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then what's the problem?
The problem is he was at home from 12:30 to 4:30. So how the fuck is it
Yeah,
Paul
no,
Freshour?
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so what's the problem? You have your answer. Also, we know how far Grove City is from Circleville.
It's it's a haul. Yeah.
Like, okay. All
Okay.
right. All right.
Apparently, it didn't matter at all that this court was presented with minimal evidence and actual witnesses that placed him at home during the placement of the booby trap. It was never mentioned that there had been a witness who had seen the suspicious El Camino man 20 minutes prior to Mary's discovery of the booby trap, when Paul was confirmed to be at home. Because on October 31st, 1983,
No.
Paul Freshour received the maximum sentence of 7 to 25 years for the attempted murder of Mary Gillespie.
Has Mary ever come out and said anything?
If she did, I couldn't find it.
Okay.
I do know Mary is still alive and she is still living around Circleville. I don't think she's in Circleville anymore, but she's still in the area. And not that I'm aware of that she ever said, I tried to find something where she was talking shit about Paul, but she did not. No.
Okay, but what's the tea about the letters? Did she keep receiving letters?
Okay. Strange thing about that. Paul was imprisoned at Allen Oakwood Correctional Institute in Lima, Ohio, over 2 hours away from Circleville. The letters still continued to come the same way, the same Columbus postmarks as before. Paul received letters too in prison, 90 miles away from Columbus, where the postmark was placed. Sheriff Radcliffe requested that the warden in Lima put Paul in solitary confinement. The warden granted his request and began to investigate on his own. The warden's conclusion was that there was no way Paul was writing or sending these letters. It still took 10 years for Paul to be released from prison.
It's so fucking
10 years of his life he gave for this crazy nonsense.
It's so unfortunate.
I know. I hate it. I watched part of, I need to send those to you. Part of an interview where his goddaughter she's an adult now. She's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, a little bit older than me, I think. She just bawled her eyes out because he would never do anything like that. It was just, look, I know they were kids and they weren't really involved and they didn't really know, and it just hurts your feelings, but it's just hard to watch when she's just grieving like that. So
Yeah. God.
Paul stated after his release, I'd like to see someone really look at this case on the letters, reopen the letter part of it, get in and find out who wrote those letters. I'd also like to see someone look into my former brother-in-law's death. Look, that's not my family anymore. That's my past. I'm not even going to look back at it. I've got a new family and a new future. But I would still like to see someone look at the accident real close and the letters. So, bitter ex-wife of Paul Freshour poisoned her daughter against him. So when he says, yeah, I've got a new family, he got remarried and had kids after he got out of prison. So that's the new family that he's referring to. But his own daughter was poisoned against him. And I don't know how often that happens now, but I know back in the day that was common.
Oh, yeah.
For kids to be like, I can't talk to my dad anymore because my mom won't let me, or my mom says
it's still common.
He did
it was
this.
Common when I was growing up.
That's crazy to me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. You're not doing your kids any favors.
God.
It's hard to pin down when the letters stop. Best I can figure is a year or two after Paul's release. Paul Freshour passed away in June of 2012. He remarried and lived the remainder of his life in Grove City, Ohio, trying to prove his innocence. Do you believe the case is solved?
No.
It's
Paul
definitely
didn't
not
do
solved.
it.
He didn't do that.
Okay. Okay. I interrupted you so many times, so I'm sorry about that.
It's like watching a movie with you. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. Yeah. So okay. I mean, this was personal. Everything
yeah.
about this was personal. Number one, the content of the letters was personal. You're using children's names in this. But not just that, but you continue to do this for 20-ish years.
20 years. Yeah.
Like that is fucking personal.
So I heard as low as probably a total of 800 letters, and I heard as
Good
high as
God.
I heard as high as 1,500.
I wish that they God, I wish that they would have looked into why. I don't understand why they didn't look into the El Camino, and I can see how that could have been taken into. Well, here's the thing. They didn't look into it, but the author of the letters then claims that the police are doing a cover up. So you're right. Like, do you want them to find you? I'm confused.
Maybe, because here's something else I found. I didn't have any proof, so I didn't put it in the notes. But I will mention that I did see in multiple places that David Longberry, the guy that hit on her, the other school bus driver that hit on
Yeah.
Mary, was later, I don't know if he was convicted, but he was, I believe, charged with the rape of like a 12-year-old girl. Also, committed suicide shortly thereafter. So I'm not trying to pile on to somebody who obviously had mental issues, but I think he might. I think it's
But
there's
if
a
he did that, I don't give a
possibility.
fuck about his mental issues.
Right. But I mean, it wouldn't be unusual for people that are odd to be accused of things when it wasn't them, just because they're odd.
I mean,
So
yeah.
I don't want to be that person, but I will say he did commit suicide shortly after allegations of the rape of a preteen girl.
I mean, that's dark.
Mm-hmm. But it's unhinged. And guess what? So are these letters.
Yeah. I can't. If we're going through some of the main characters of the story, there's Massey's wife, which to me, she has nothing to do with this. Seems like she left him in the dust. She is moving on with her life.
Literally no one of all the things that I read and watched a whole lot, and not one time. But what I did hear once or twice was that they suspected Massey's teenage son, because his mom and dad were getting divorced, and there were all of these allegations out there about him having an affair with this bus driver. But the allegations and the rumors from where I sit didn't start until after the letter started.
Yeah.
So I don't think that can be a thing, but it was mentioned.
I'm just like, here's my problem with that is I would imagine that a majority of children, which again, we're talking about somebody who's unhinged here, very clearly so. I would imagine that a child who is experiencing this with their parents would want their parents to stay together.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So if we scare Mary off, maybe they will stay together. But the
Yeah,
timeline doesn't
but that
track.
doesn't make sense anyways, because he wasn't just scaring Mary off. He then aired out everything to the entire town.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me personally, I mean, again, like, I guess for me personally, that doesn't track. This is
Same.
somebody who gives stalker vibes. Having a stalker is a very scary situation and a very dangerous situation, because stalkers can and will kill you. Stalkers have very obsessive personalities, which is exactly what we're experiencing here. I mean, this person is obsessively sending letters.
20 years obsessed. 20 years obsessed.
So, I mean, unless we have a secret kind of, you know, a secret kind of relationship somewhere else, for me, the signs do point towards David. He's the only one that we hear about having or feeling some type of way towards Mary.
Yeah. That's true. It also would explain how it was suddenly paused when he received all these letters. How come he didn't go to the sheriff and go, "What the fuck is this? Look at this shit here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I will say on the opposite end of that is you can gain a stalker just by looking at them sometimes.
You sure can. Those are facts.
So
maybe you don't even have to do that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there is just this random person with no form of affiliation. But I think we're neglecting the eyewitness statement of the El Camino.
Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know you have to pass tests and things to be a bus driver. I mean, more than just a driving test. Like you have to pass, you're driving around with people's children. So I know he wasn't mentally challenged in that way, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't unstable. But also 11,000 people, I mean, it could be somebody that isn't even shuffled in here to this deck. But I feel like I can say it never was Paul Freshour. Ever.
No, absolutely. There is no part of me that believes that it's Paul. No part of me that believes that. I think he was wrongly accused, and that sucks. That more than sucks. I hate that. I do not think it was Paul. And I think to even sell that point, I mean, you had eyewitness statements of him being somewhere else at the time that El Camino was there. And by the time she drove by that particular instance. So there's no physically possible way he could have done that. Not just including the distance from Grove City to...
Yeah, that's 50 miles round trip.
Yeah, I mean, that in and of itself is a complication.
Yeah.
But no part of me believes that Paul had anything to do with that. I mean, I would have to say, I mean, it's super personal. The name calling, the actual content in the letters.
Pig. I just keep coming back to that. That is somebody who got their feelings hurt.
100%. Mm-hmm. 100%. It doesn't make sense for Massey's wife. Her husband's fucking dead. It doesn't make sense for the in-laws.
It also doesn't make sense that Ron took off with a fire in his ass to go and confront this person when it was his best friend. That doesn't make any sense at all.
No, absolutely not. Oh, God, yeah. I mean,
here's me and somebody's been torturing me for months, and then I figure out who it is. Am I going to grab my gun and run to your house and it's you were and you're the person that's doing it, or am I going to be like, bitch, I know it's you. You are caught. Yeah, what
And
for? Why?
remind me, this was after David had already done the polygraph, right?
Hold on a minute. Yes. Yeah, yes, because that was after the letter writing campaign. So yeah.
I don't feel like I have to say this. I feel like a majority of people know this, but it's very easy to manipulate the polygraphs.
Sure.
Very easy to manipulate those. There's a reason they're not used in court.
Sure. And it's also easy to get a false positive as well.
Yeah. So I was actually, oddly enough, another deep dive I was taking last night. If you have like high levels of anxiety, you can set it off.
Oh, I believe that.
You can be innocent, but because your anxiety is so high, you can give that false positive.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it's not, this is, yeah, it's a polygraph test. It's not the Minority Report. You are wrong.
Yeah.
You are wrong. Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I guess, oh, Lord. What a messy, confusing. I mean, there's so many hands in this pot, and nobody makes sense for me unless it's a rando or David. And it's definitely a stalker situation. It's way too personal. Way too personal.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. Gordon was also getting letters, by the way, which he just threw in the trash. he's like, okay, this is bullshit, and he threw it in the trash. So
are him and Mary still together?
No. When he passed away, he was married to another woman. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, pause. Do you know what year David died?
I don't, but I could find out for you for sure, but I don't remember right off rip. But it was
what's his last name?
Longberry, David Longberry.
Okay. Let's see. You said he committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna find this. Hold on.
And there is nothing to say that there weren't multiple people working on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I keep saying he or she or but it really is a more they situation. It could be anybody, or it could be a couple people, or there could be a copycat that is working independently.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, 5 adults sat at a table and brainstormed about it and did it. So it couldn't be that hard.
Right. Let me just see what this one says. Named David. I mean, here's the weird thing is it's almost like it's hard to find. It almost seems like a story for some of these like sources that I'm pulling up right now. Like it's almost like listen to this story. Like I can't even find what year. Oh, this has like pictures of the letters. So because the reason I was wondering is, do you know what year the letter stopped?
Best I could figure out was somewhere a couple years after Paul was released. Maybe a year and a half after Paul was released.
In 1999, he became a wanted fugitive after, I'm going to cut in here and say alleged rape of an 11-year-old girl and committed suicide on the run. So I'm going to guess that it's 1999.
Yeah.
Do you know what year? You said it was a year after Paul was released?
the letters stopped.
Mhm.
I would say a year and a half to 2 years after he was released, from
And
the
when was
stuff I
Paul
dug around
released?
for. He was released in 94, 10 years. He was in for 10 years. So yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he found
if
somebody new to obsess about.
I'm just saying, like, it makes
Potentially.
sense. Yeah,
Allegedly.
yes, allegedly.
Mhm.
Allegedly, it makes sense timeline wise. I mean, David's still alive by that point.
Yeah. I don't know. I know it's crazy, and I know there are people in Circleville that want to talk about it, and there are people who do not want to talk about it, and those people are generally involved somehow. It was my mom, it was my sister, it was my yeah.
You have cases, I'll say, especially in small towns, you have cases where everybody's talking about it, and then you have other cases where nobody's talking.
Mhm.
And that's very odd to me.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think, like, because I know you mentioned, well, what if, there was more than one person? I mean, again, if we're looking at the facts of how many letters were sent to the town, that is a lot for one person to write. But was there ever any
Well, he had
difference?
20 years, so
Yeah, but I thought you said he like sent letters to the entire town once, like early on, right?
yeah, I don't know how he chose who he chose, but or who
Oh,
they
okay.
chose. um I don't know how they chose those people, only that they were people that worked in restaurants, people that worked in libraries, people that were around other people,
Yeah,
because they know how a small town works.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a lot of letters for one person to write, but also it didn't sound like the letters ever were different in any way, shape, or form.
It, they did not appear to be different. No.
So I don't know.
Me neither. It's so, I don't know. If I was a mad genius or something, I guess if I were going to write letters, threatening letters to people, I definitely don't think that I would be picking big block 4-year-old handwriting to do so. That seems, wait, what?
Well, it seems um easy to discover to me. In
Yeah.
the sense of all they got to do is have you as a suspect and ask you to write in all caps. Not in the sense of match this letter, but hey, can you write this for me? Okay, great. Can you write this in all caps for me? Okay. Can you do it with your other hand? You know, to get an overall view, um, rather than just being like, hey, can you like try to write this letter exactly how this looks?
Copy
That's
it.
crazy.
Copy it
Yeah.
exactly. He's like,
Yeah.
oh,
And
yeah,
then use
we just
that
did
in
this a few
fucking
minutes
court.
ago. Or,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
few weeks ago.
Right.
We just did that. It's easy. Let me
It's
show you.
easy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But I think, if you bring somebody in and you're like, hey, like, can you write these 3 sentences for me in your handwriting? Okay. Can you write in all caps for me now? Let's switch hands. Can you do the same thing with your left hand now? You know what I mean? I think that just gives a more overall kind of view of it. I think it would be easier to find somebody writing, like handwriting, than clipping out of a magazine
That's true.
or typing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is like, I think the handwriting is crazy in the sense of I think it's more easily distinguishable rather than using newspaper clippings or or typing it on a typewriter, computer, whatever.
Right. So really, I just want to go into people's houses and see if they don't have a typewriter, any magazines,
Right.
or what else did we say?
Computer.
A computer. No, well, in 1977, nobody had one, but
What?
yeah, I'm looking for somebody who doesn't have the things that somebody smart would use. Yeah.
But I don't even think that it's that. Like, they could definitely have that. And that's what's weird to me. And that's another thing for me that makes it personal. I'm interested to see, does the handwriting look angry?
No, it looks like a 4-year-old wrote it. Also, I'm part of the pictures that I'm sending you. I didn't send them yet because
No, that's fine. That's fine.
because I didn't want you to see the truck, because I didn't want you to know what was about to happen. So that's why I didn't send them, but I can send them now.
What a weird. Yeah, I think I'm going with just some random stalker that for some reason like latched onto her. And I do think that it latched onto her, not.
He was really mad at him, right? Like he was
Yes.
like, report him to the school board, report him to the school board. That's what also turns my eyes to Longberry, because you would know that that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Because you work for the school board.
Was that like common knowledge back then for it to like have known to be a problem? Does that make sense? What I'm trying to ask?
I didn't understand the question.
So like, obviously everybody knows today, like that's a problem. Somebody's probably getting fired. But was that like well known back then?
Yes, because the school board was in charge of, like, the PTA had a direct line to the school board.
It's not like you had to work at that time. It's not like you had to work in the school system to know that that's a problem, is my question.
No, but you would know the chain, but you listen.
The chain of command.
The chain of command, because the average Joe, if you don't belong to the PTA, you don't know how that shit works.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't work for the school board, you don't know that.
Yeah.
So they literally could have a meeting tomorrow and let you go in Ohio, still today, I believe, with no reason whatsoever, because it's an at-will state. So see you later, alligator. You don't work there anymore.
What a weird case.
It is crazy. But
yeah. Well,
thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you for doing it and doing all the research, because I know it's been driving you nuts for like a month.
Well, because it was the first one I worked on, and that's been months ago. And then I was like, oh no, drop that. Let's work on this. And then it was spooky season. And then it was, so I was like, I need to exercise this demon out of my life.
Literally. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, with that, is that everything? If anybody has any thoughts, opinions, questions, concerns, case suggestions, feel free to email us at thechamberofshadows@gmail.com. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram at The Chamber of Shadows. I try to do my best with making posts on social media, but I know I missed a couple weeks there. But I posted for The Omen. I've got another post I need to make, and I'll make a post for this as well as next week's. I'm excited to do next week's.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good time. Anybody in Circleville, if you would like to talk, we'd like to listen.
And you don't have to, you can stay anonymous.
You definitely can. Or if you know a whole lot, you can come on and just talk to us, and we'll have a fun time.
And I mean, we can still keep you anonymous if that's a concern of yours. And if it's not, great too. Like, anything. Oh my gosh, this is wild. Okay.
Yeah. R.I.P. Paul Freshour. I'm glad that the last half of your life found somebody you could share it with anyway. Also, Mary, you poor thing. I bet you know by now. Who it for sure who it was.
I don't know what I would do if I were her. Because on one hand, the letter stopped. I really don't want to bring that back up. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes. Yeah. Or spark a
So-
copycat or yeah.
Exactly. And don't listen. Anybody listening, don't become a copycat. We're not doing that.
Yeah, it's not fun. Think of your
not
own
fun.
stuff. Think of your
Yeah,
own crazy
literally.
stuff. Don't just torture. Don't just
Have
use.
an original thought. This is for legality purposes. We are joking. Oh Lord! All right, that's a sign. We gotta stop.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. Bye.
All right. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.